Hey everybody, welcome to the G. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, nothing special going on here. And we're getting ready. Tomorrow's the big day. The Apso Mag big day. Please tune in tomorrow for my unboxing. Book 57, I believe. I'll double check. Payback in Death. Now, for those of you who have been with my channel for a long, please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I'm currently running in the negative for this week. And what I mean by that is I had a whole slew of people subscribe, and I had more people unsubscribed than subscribed. So I actually ended up in the negative category in my own head. So, and the analytics say that you've already clicked off. So, but we did this book back in September when it first came out. And, but I'm doing a reread in, as you know, you joined me I was doing a reread back then. But we have finished our reread of all the Eve Dallas books. What are you doing? Come here. And we are up to Payback in Death, and we're getting ready to read Random in Death with tons and tons and tons and tons of spoilers. Tons and tons and tons of spoilers. And Pussycat. Hold on a second. So, as we get ready for the unboxing tomorrow, and I hope you all stay tuned for that tomorrow. It'll be hard to say goodbye to Eve Dallas till September, but we're gonna do it. At least we know there's one coming out in September. Thumbs up. So if you didn't go watch my video for September for Payback in Death, please go and do so. Pull it up. But so this time I thought, I want to show you the inside cover. The last few books, they got imaginative with covers. And they want you to solve the mystery via the pictures. And that's Galahad. I've got my own. This is female though, so this is Miss Smokey because she's gray. So anyways, this time I decided that I went through it. I reread it again today, and I pulled out some special moments. So this time, there's been a murder. You can go check out my review in September. But this time, we're going to enjoy the characters. We're going to enjoy their growth. We're going to enjoy their conversations. This is what I love about series books, especially these series books, especially J.D. Robb, Eve Dallas books. I like the character growth. I like the character discussions. I like the characters. They're family. Eve Dallas is a lieutenant in the New York City Police and Security Department. Her husband is Rourke, the richest guy. Peabody is her partner. McNabb is her cohab, and he's a detective in the electronics division. Feeney was her mentor way back when. He's now captain of EDD. Whitney is Eve's boss. Mira is the department shrink. Mavis is her best friend from about 10 years ago. Mavis is now a rock star, and Leonardo is her husband, who's a fashion designer, and they have a little girl, Bella, and she's pregnant with child number 2. And we also have Nadine First, our TV reporter, who has her own show and is also a novelist. And she won an Oscar for the I Cove Agenda. And she just released the Red Horse Theory. And looks like there's going to be another book down the road. And we get some catch up on some details we've gotten before. And I'm just enjoying it. I'm cherishing these books. I love these books. That's why I own so many of them. I'm a reader, and I hope you enjoy them with me. And I hope you're not going, oh, this is a rerun. It's not a rerun. I'm sharing more of the book for you. We're going to read some of it to you. Do you know, I know this person. Well, I know there's several of them do it. They actually have, and I will never have this because I don't have that many people. I mean, my average video only gets 5 people. So thank you to the 5 people that watched my video. I really appreciate it. I really do. Whereas this other person gets hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views just in like a single day. I can't even get that in a year. But her and some co-hosts, they all sit there and read the book. And people actually watch them read the book. So, but they read it to themselves. They read it quietly. I'm going to read this to you, and we're going to talk about it. And I wish I could do this live, but I can't because nobody would show up. I did a whole thing on Boggle last year. Let's play Boggle, trying to get some, and I did it every night at the exact same time. I tried to be absolutely consistent with it. Nobody showed up, so I gave up. And I've restarted Flashback Mondays, so please check that out. I'm going to try something new. I've done it a couple weeks now, and now I'm going to try some experiment new because the last one I did so many inserts that it took. I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely serious about this because I had to use an editor, and it's an older editor because my computer is older. My computer is really, really old, and because have you heard this thing? You could have the fastest internet on the earth, but if your computer is a turtle, that's how fast it's going to go. It took literally 7 hours to upload that video. I'm not kidding, 7 hours. So I'm going to try something new. I'm going to split it up into smaller sections to see what happens for Flashback Monday. We'll see if anybody watches, because I don't think anybody's going to watch. I would like people to watch, but I don't think anybody's going to watch. But I would like you to watch. If you're interested in new and unique book recommendations, please check out Flashback Mondays. I've been doing them for almost a year now, and I really like them, and I really enjoy that Romantic Times magazine. It's fantastic, and I'm so sorry they went out of business, because I would be talking about that sucker right now. So, and Webster. Webster is he's a new, he's a recurring character we haven't seen in a while, and he has big life changes coming in this book. And so that's an important spoiler, and we did all that way back when. So this is just me enjoying this book and sharing it with you, spoilers and all. And we also learned in the last book, Rourke, as an anniversary present to Eve, gave the magic coat to her entire bullpen. And then she gave, well, we're going to get into that. She gave him the picture, which we will get into. We are so just going to enjoy this and read this book to our heart's content. So this is their 3rd anniversary. Now, I'm getting a little nervous with J.A. Jansen, J.P. Beaumont. We finished the last one in that series for a while. I have seen on her website that there is one coming out for 2025. So at least there is hope. But J.P. Beaumont is 70 plus years old. And J.A. Jansen's been doing them in real time. Whereas Eve Dallas, this is only 3 years. So hopefully Eve Dallas will be around as long as Nora Roberts is. And another 30 years. I'd like to see her reach 100 books. I know I'm guilty. I know all you Nora Roberts fans are going to bite me in the butt. But I would like it one year if she put out 5 Eves like she used to in the olden days. In the olden days, there would be 2 hardcovers and 2 novellas. There'd be 4 books a year. She hasn't done the novellas in quite a long time. And we did all those on this channel. I did all of them. So if you want, if you want to know the series order, just scroll my channel. Pull up my channel and then search for JD Robb, and it'll pull them all up. I did them all in order, except for Payback way back when. But I did them all the books. I enjoyed every one of these books. So can we get started um, with our reading. Um, they toured Europe, and they are at his family, and she says he was so damn happy, and his happiness rolled right through her. She didn't consider it a marriage rule to share such a cheerful mood, but it did stand as an advantage. She studied him a while, a more pleasant view than the breaks in the hedgerows that displayed sheep, cows, occasional horses, and various other four-legged animals. He had that face, those wild Irish blue eyes, that perfectly sculpted mouth, and all that black silk hair to frame it. Those lips curved, those eyes smiled just for her when he glanced at her. Not much farther. So they're going to um, his relatives in Ireland. And then they're with the family. She hadn't planned just to give him his anniversary gift, hadn't been entirely sure she could pull it off since she'd come up with the idea. But when she considered giving it to him in Greece alone, it hadn't seemed the right way. After the feast with the family sprawled in the living room, dining room, and kitchen, with a dog snoring and a baby nursing, with Rourke's great-grandmother knitting something or other, seemed like the right way. "Are you sure?" Sinead asked. That's his aunt. Sinead is his aunt. When they went into a cupboard, "I haven't seen it at great cost," I'll add, given in to the temptation to take a peek. "But I know the idea of it, and there'll be cheers. Some will be my own, I expect. I think it'll mean more to him this way." She hoped so. She carried the brown rat gift to where Rourke and his uncle held a conversation having to do with sheep. "A few days late, in case you thought I forgot." She knew she'd surprise him, a rare thing, when she handed him a long, wide package. "Tear it open, would you?" Sean demanded. He's the little nephew. Nan wouldn't so much as give us a hint what it was. Then we'd best find out. More family crowded in as Rourke removed the paper, the stabilizers, and inside found family. The painting held the farmhouse, the hills, the fields in the background, and everyone stood together, the whole insane mob of them, young, old, babies in arms, Rourke and Eve centered. Sinead stood behind Rourke's right shoulder, Rourke's mother lost so long before at his left. "It's the lot of us. Is that my Aunt Sinead, Nam?" "It is. Aye, that's our Sinead. Cinnabon. Ah, it's beautiful. It's brilliant." Turning, she pressed her face to her husband's shoulder. "And here I go, Robbie. This is Eve." Rourke looked up at her, his heart in those wild blue eyes. "I have no words." He reached for her hand. "You've put Somerset in." "Well," she shrugged. "Yancey painted it. I see the signature. It couldn't be more precious to me. How did you manage this?" Sinead sent photos, and Yancey figured it out. "Hand it over, lad." Robbie took it from him and stand up and kiss your wife. "That I will. I love you beyond reason." When he kissed her, the family cheered. Then they crowded around to get closer looks at the gift. So they opened the gift. And "Welcome home," Somerset said. "You both look as if the time away did you more than good." "It did. All's well here?" "Yes, it is." "Your families well, I hope, and one and all?" "Yet they are, and send their best. The bags you marked for me are unpacked, and the others upstairs, except for the lieutenant's gift to you." Somerset gestured toward the main parlor, as you requested. Taking Eve's hand, walked into the parlor. The painting hung in a place of prominence over the mantel. Surprised, Eve turned to him. She expected him to hang it in his office, maybe the library. "Here? You're sure about that?" "It's personal, but not private. It's family, so I'm sure, yes." It's a precious gift. I'm honored to be included in it, Somerset added. Eve just shrugged. You're his real father, so scooped up the cat. See, we didn't leave you out either. The painted Galahad sat between Eve and Rook, looking pudgy yet dignified. I'm going to head up and unpack, but she lingered another moment. It looks good here. So she likes the painting in the living room or library. Eve and Rook sit down to pizza dinner and begin to do their evening, and Webster tags her, there's been a murder. So we're not gonna you can watch my first video on that. This is just enjoying the book and the characters in the book. We're gonna bypass the murder. You can go check it out in Payback. And I really didn't talk about too much. I mentioned it then too, but I'm more into the characters, more into enjoying the second time around. I'm trying to share my enjoyment of the characters with you. So she's getting dressed the next day, and it cracked me up because they've been away for 3 weeks, and she says, Sit, I'm out of practice. It's midsummer. From behind her, quiet as a cat, Rourke laid his hands on her shoulders. Go for the cool and light here. I'll steer you through it until you get back into the swing of it. Eve, in the olden days, would put on a pair of jeans and a shirt and go. That's just, she was dressed, who cared what she looked like. But Rourke has been trying to teach her about fashion. Her friends have been trying to teach her about fashion. And Rourke just keeps buying her clothes. He took down pants nearly the same shade of pearly gray as his suit. A splash of pink in the top would set this off, but I know you better. Damn right. So white it is. The linen jacket with the thin line of darker gray, leather at the lapels and cuffs. You'll want dark gray boots and belt to pick that up. Okay. She took the jacket, noted it already had the magic lining inside. Is this new? He just smiled, possibly. Now she glanced at the label. Leonardo. He does know what you like as well as what suits you. You'll have to go by, see the progress on the house. In 3 weeks, it'll be considerable. Okay, we'll make time. I'm going to get an earful on it from Peabody anyway. And the cat attacks the food. But you can catch up on that. So then they do the investigation, they do interviews, stuff like that. When Eve gets into her office in Central, she hasn't been there for 3 weeks, and she's been busy with the investigation out in the field. This is her first time back in the office, and she walks in her office. A big black balloon floated over her desk. Instead of a smiley face, this one had X's for eyes and what looked like a dribble of blood out of the corner of the downturned line for its mouth. It read, Bad guys beware. Dallas is back in town. She shook her head and let the balloon float while she programmed coffee. Yeah, be fucking where. She sat down to write up a brief update for Whitney, confirming homicide. As she sent it, she heard Peabody's fairly familiar clump. Wearing skids, she thought, and still managed to clump. She stepped in carrying an evidence box. I guess the general, and she grinned at the balloon. Whose idea, Eve asked. I guess the general idea was sort of mine, but it was a group effort, which included debate on the image and the wording. I like it. She bounced on her toes. I knew you would. And we do more of the case, talk more about what happened, and then there was an incident in the bullpen. You can read the book about that. There's going to be another one which we will actually talk about. And so Whitney's in the office, and where's my line? She approached Jenkinson's desk. Now, he's the detective that she put in for the promotion in the last book. And he's also the eldest detective in her department. He's way older than her, and so he really deserves the promotion. So she approached Jenkinson's desk, looked at his mutinous face, his insane tie. Jenkinson, I said what I said to that F, and I'd say it again if I get the chance. We stand up for each other in here, and we stand for our lieutenant. Do you think I couldn't take that F? I think you could have kicked his ass, then wiped the floor with what was left of it. That doesn't mean I don't regret some you didn't let me do it first. He shrugged. I gotta stand by that, Commander. So noted and understood. I appreciate the backup, Eve said to the room at large. Then she held out a hand to Jenkinson. I appreciate the sentiment and the backup, Detective Sergeant Jenkinson. At his desk, Reinecke, the only one Jenkins had told about the possible promotion, shot fists in the air and shouted, yes. No shit, Jenkinson murmured. Son of a gun. He got back slaps, arm punches. Congratulations, as Whitney held out a hand. Congratulations, Detective Sergeant. Well earned. Thank you, sir. Jesus, guys. Give a DS some room. I wouldn't have taken the exam if you hadn't talked me into it, boss. I appreciate the backup. Anytime, anywhere. 5 minutes to act like lunatics. She raised her voice over the din. 5 minutes, then back to work. The city pays you to do. Peabody, get me those names. We do some more about the case, and Eve has a reflection of her friends. And she's gained a lot of friends over the last couple of years. You know, she was mostly solo. And Mira has told her that if it wasn't for this Rourke, and if it wasn't for her friends, she might have burned out real quickly from being a police officer because she was so intense. But now that she has friends and she has an outlet, she'll survive in the job longer. And just what Eve wondered, did the under 30 ambitious manager of a high-dollar fashion boutique have in common with the over 70 recently retired teacher and wife of a retired cop? Or the former, maybe, protester now, owner-operator of Another Chance, a nonprofit that assisted the displaced and disenfranchised in finding housing and employment, while providing clothing, food, and legal aid and education opportunities. Or the pediatrician who, Eve learned on the background check, volunteered 12 hours a month in the Louise D'Amato's free clinic. Louise D'Amato is another one of Eve's friends. We don't see too much from her, but she is a doctor. She does a free clinic. She does a hospital. And she's also married to Charles Monroe, a former licensed companion who is now a sex therapist. Or the photographer, currently professional parent with 2 kids, ages 4 and 2. Then again, look who she ended up with in the friendship pool. Mavis, former grifter, now singing sensation, mother of 1 and 1 in the oven. The aforementioned Louise, Dr. Rich Girl, free clinic founder, married to a former LC, now sex therapist. Nadine, of course, crime reporter with her own screen show, author, Oscar winner. Peabody, free ager, smartass, solid cop with it. Made it sense to form friendships with a partner, as she had with Feeney. McNabb had snuck his way into the pool, not just because he clearly loved her partner. Maybe she didn't understand his e-speak even half the time and never understood his wardrobe, but he stood up, never bitched about extra work. She often tossed his way in EDD. Sarah Rio made that sense too. Under the southern drawl and soft looks lived an ass-kicking APA. Add Mira, though she never anticipated having a close personal relationship with the shrink, especially the top shrink in NYPSD. Then Mr. Mira, Mr. Dennis Mira, Mira's husband, so much sharper than those dreamy eyes indicated, and he could make her go butter soft inside. Morris, but that made sense too. Morris is the M.E. You didn't have to be friends with associates, and sometimes it complicated things, but she had what she had. Would she count her bullpen? Yeah. Not that she wouldn't kick any one of their asses when needed. And Rock, because beyond the insanity of love, they had a genuine friendship. Okay, people could and did form relationships, attachments, friendship with others that on the surface showed no special common ground, but there had to be something under the surface to cement the bond. A strongly fused bond could and often did convince one to act well outside of their comfort zone, or cover the act of another to find ways to justify misdeeds. I just love it. Then we know you have to understand that Eve is very uncomfortable with shopping. She's like she'd like to do it online. She prefers to do it online. Peabody and everybody else in creation prefers to do it in person. And so they're talking, and she says, I don't see that as so it's a neighborhood shop, high end, but they have sales, and some people, it escapes me, just like to look around at stuff in shops. They call looking around at stuff in shops shopping or browsing, Peabody considered. You browse around so you can see the stuff, then decide what to buy or not buy. If you decide what you want to buy before you go in, you can just buy it and save time. If you're not going to buy anything, you can just stay home. Sometimes you don't know what you want to buy until you see it. Hence, browsing provides the opportunity to see what's available and if you want it for your own. So if you didn't see it in the first place, you wouldn't want it. And if you didn't want it before you saw it, doesn't it follow you didn't need it? Peabody's eyes narrowed her eyes. Those are the snare Peabody in a trap questions. I take the fifth and move on. Wait. She shot up her index finger on both hands. When people browse and shop and find what they want and buy it, it's good for the economy. It increases the tax revenue and allows the merchant to meet their overhead and make profits so they can stay in business. Uh-huh. I'm sure all the people hauling shopping bags are thinking, I've done my civic duty, contributed to the economy, and now the merchant I bought all this stuff I didn't actually need from can put food on the table tonight. Eve glanced over. Is that what you're thinking about when you bought that pink jacket? No, I was thinking pretty, but it still works that way. Then they go to the house. They go to Mavis Peabody's house. I love all the house updates. It's both of you. You shouldn't make sense, but it does. It also a miracle of major proportions. This house, this yard. A couple of months ago, it looked like some rich guy's neglected shithole. Now, yeah, abso-mag. I love it so much, I feel like we sort of saved it, you know? It was sitting here all sad and empty, waiting for the right people to bring it back, fill it up. You're the right people, Eve told her. You have to see inside. It's even a bigger miracle. As they walked to the house, Mavis ran out to the porch. Jesus, she got bigger. Well, she's 6 months along, and in a tiny green leaf shorts and a baby belly clinging pink and white striped tee. She looked it. You're back. You're here. Check it. She threw her arms out. Then, Jesus, she couldn't bounce like that. I can see what's in there slashing around, banging its head against her ribcage. Number 2's just fine, Peabody assured her. Number 1 came barreling out the door and kept coming. Das, das, das! She came at Eve like a heat-seeking missile, then leaped up, fully expecting to be caught. With little choice, Eve snagged her. She smelled like cherries, and since Eve tasted them when Bella smacked kisses over her face, suspected a recently consumed cherry popsicle or sucker. It wasn't bad. Rub, Das. She wants me to rub her? La la la, Peabody said, and Bella laughed. La la love, Das. Oh well, hell. Hell, Belle echoed with a smile. You'll get me in trouble anyway, love you back. Who wouldn't? La la love, Peabody. She's almost got it. We've been practicing. How about giving me some? Peabody held out her hands. Bella dived into them, smacked more kisses between babbles. We missed you. Mavis threw her arms around Eve as fiercely as Bella had, and was inside the growing bumped. God, it's moving in there. Number 2's happy to see you. It can't actually see me, unsure Eve's back, can it? Bella, me my baby's kicking. I want. She scrambled down from Peabody, pressed her ear to Mavis's belly. Boom, boom, she said, and laughed like a maniac. So they tore the house, and Rourke shows up. It's absolutely is. Rourke said from behind her. Peabody, you're a wonder, a genuine wonder. Bella spotted him, Orc, and came running. He scooped her up, kissed her. I believe you've grown as you, well, he said to Mavis. Bunches of progress here, patted the belly here. There, a smile for Bella, in there and out there. We picked tomatoes and peppers from our backyard over the weekend. Lettuce, too. Peabody made a salad. Passed nutrients in it. We all sat right out here and ate what we'd grown. And they talked more about the house. So then Eve and Rourke go home for dinner, and we get into the next day. So they're talking over breakfast the next day, and this is another catch-up from the previous book. Remember when we had Eve asking Rourke to purchase the bar because the owner was a DICK, and she wanted him to buy it so they could fire the guy. And so he did in the last book. We got an update. However, this afternoon you might be interested to know I'll be looking at some design options for the venue area of your building. She knew she'd find spinach inside the omelet, but when she cut into it, she also discovered ham and cheese. It's not my building just because you slapped my name on the deed. He topped off both their coffees. Darling Eve, your name on the deed is exactly what makes it your building. I can also tell you Stone, the justly reviled tenant, has decided to relocate both his club and his living quarters to Jersey City. Yeah, well, bad luck to him, asshole. Speaking of someone who wasn't an asshole but connected to a previous case, the guy who does the metal sculptures where Eliza stole the cyanide. All right, yes. Peabody went goofy over this lamp he had. Since I got a look at her part of the house, yeah, I can see it. Still, you're more up on what she's doing and where and all that. If I had him send you a picture of it or one like it, maybe you could see if it worked somewhere in her new place. I could, yes. Solid. She shoveled in eggs. Then there's this garden sculpture deal Peabody said Mavis would go goofy over, and yes, she would. Lane commissioned him to make it so she could steal the cyanide. He's probably finished it by now, or maybe scrapped it considering. Anyway, we got to get them stuff right. When they finish this new place, you got to give them stuff. Yes, housewarming gifts, and listen to you, thinking ahead to appropriate gifts. It's not thinking ahead so much as not having to think. And it's definitely not browsing, she added, thinking of her conversation with Peabody. Browsing? You had to be there. Steam poured out when she broke open her croissant. She slathered it with butter and melted on contact. All right, then. Have him send me the images. I expect if Peabody thought they'd work, they will. Good, then it's done, and no thinking or browsing. Better yet, no shopping. I've got to spend the day thinking about wrong cops and the people who loved or loved them. Because that's what it's going to be. Then we have another incident, and this one is a serious incident, and we mention it because of what happens. So this guy is blaming Eve for a lot of different things, and so he comes up and he attacks them for the second time. Stay down. As she reached back for her restraints, he pulled a clutch piece out of ankle holster. The stream went wide, missed her, and hit the oncoming Baxter. God damn it, she kicked the stunner out of his hand, yanked out her own. You hit, Baxter? Are you hit? Yeah, but no. Baxter planted a foot on the loose stunner, then opened his suit jacket as Eve slapped the cuffs on Lansing. Magic lining. Let's hear it for the thin shield. God damn it, Dallas, he fucking used a weapon on a fellow officer. He's not an officer. He's a drunk shit for brains a thing. And you're under arrest for assaulting an officer for possession of a concealed weapon for using same on officer. And he goes off on her some more. And so Eve is telling Mira what happened. And he had a clutch piece and he shot stream that hit Baxter. He had his piece on full. Son of a bee wanted to do serious damage. Dear God, is Detective Baxter injured? No, he was wearing the thing, the magic lining. Ah, thin shield. Well, we owe Rock. He owes Rock his life for the coat. And it's just going to make Eve even more grateful that Rock gave her department, her bullpen, the coat. So then there's this cute moment. We've had this moment happen before a few times, but it's always cute when Peabody pulls this out. And I enjoy when Peabody pulls this out of the hat, of the bag, out of anything. Peabody walked in with a cold pack in one hand. I already iced down, Eve began, but Peabody just put the pack on Eve's desk. You're going to ice again in a few minutes. Your jaw looks pretty bad. I can't see your left, girl, but Eve laid a hand over her breast, and you're not going to. I bet that hurts. She held a blocker cup in her other hand. I don't want. Peabody's eyes hard shoved the blocker under Eve's face. Jesus, Peabody, I outrank you. And Peabody goes, don't make me tag Rock. At fist in the throat would have been less of a jolt. You wouldn't dare. Oh, I dare. I double damn dare, so take it. Eve snatched it, popped it in, swallows. Go, Peabody! Go, Peabody! Yay, Peabody! You gotta love it. So, Feeney comes in. So he's heard what happened, and she treats him to a burger, and he enjoys the burger. Where is this? Oh Christ, Dallas, I just heard. It's done, it's handled. I knew he was, but coming at you this way in front of other cops in the damn garage. It's done, she said again. You should know if he'd gotten through me and Baxter, he'd have come after you. After dragging his hand through his hair, Webster looked at Eve with exhausted eyes. Yeah, can I get that? I get that. Can I sip? I'm going to update you. Give me a few hours first. Feeney's agreed to work on the searches so I can expect progress today. I can't ask for better than Feeney, but it's more I want to update you. It could take a few minutes. You know the risk of the chair. Yeah, I do. He sat carefully in her visitor's chair. You know your budget would handle another visitor's chair. Why would I want that? I've been saying this for book after book after book after book after book. She owes it to her visitors to get a new visitor's chair. Yes, we know Eve's POV on it is that she doesn't want a chair where people think it's comfortable and stay extra. But it's not fair to the visitors either. And Eve's doing it out of spite. She's keeping that chair. And I think it's wrong now. It's gotten old. So he tells Eve that he's turned in his badge. He's going to move to Olympus to be with D'Angelo. So he's gonna be with D'Angelo. You can read that up. She tags Nadine and she says, Dallas, why are you always getting smacked in the face? Keeps me mean and ready. Detective Lansing, IAB, do you know him? Lansing, I don't. She shook back her streaky hair, angled her head as her foxy green eyes narrowed. Oh yeah, I remember him. John Jack, no Joe. Joe Lansing, IAB. How? He hit on me pretty hard right after I got the crime beat. And I was doing a follow-up on internal investigations at the NYPSD. So what, about 4 years ago, something like that. He didn't want to take no. I don't date cops. Conflict of interest. Seems to me he was like nobody has to know. On top of the no for the first reason, I didn't like him. I mean, he's good to look at, but I just didn't like him. And then we have a cute moment. I like to share. I like to share these with you. I hope you're still with me. I'm probably just doing this for my own benefit right now. Probably there's probably nobody here, but it would be nice to know that you were still here. Do that, McNabb. Feeney sent another couple. Nothing yet on the weapon, but a couple more possible conversations. We'll start there tomorrow. I want to look them over. I'll send you the addresses. We'll start. I've been through 3, Baxter said. None of them sing. I think I might have one from his desk. Trueheart sent Eve one of his earnest looks. I don't know if it sings, Lieutenant, but it hums. Listen to you, Baxter grinned at him. Good one. Hum the tune, Eve told him. And he tells her what the stuff is. So then she's telling Rourke. And Rourke walked in. Like the cat, he gave her face a long, steady stare. From the looks of it, that happened considerably earlier in the day from when we spoke. She shrugged. She tossed the shirt on the bed beside the cat, who sniffed it and snarled. As she stood in her trousers and support tank, Rourke moved in to gently, very gently cup her face. You're supposed to take care of my cop. I did, believe me, he got the worst of it. And who is he? And she tells him. And then she says, I kicked his ass. Yeah, he got some hits in, but I put him down. He had a clutch piece, Rourke, and he pulled it. He was down and dazed, so he missed me, hit Baxter. His piece was on full. Now she cupped Rourke's face. Baxter had my anniversary present. If he hadn't had the thin shield under his fancy jacket, he'd have gone down hard. Christ Jesus, the man's lost whatever senses he might have had once. Not my fault. If you want to point fingers, point at Nadine. Nadine isn't. Rourke angled his head, then brushed his lips over the bruising. I want to hear what part she played, but hold it while I get a cold pack and wand. So then they talk some more, and Okay, that's just more about the case. Not me, really. Webster forgot. She let out another sigh when he put the wand away. Thank God that was over for now. He came in, wanted to talk to me about what he wanted to talk to Greenleaf about. She dragged the shirt back on. He's turned in his papers. She stared at him when he walked to the auto shelf. You knew? I didn't know, but I'm not at all surprised. He's relocating to Olympus then. That's the plan. You don't agree? It's not for me to. Okay, no. I didn't. Jesus, he's got, 16, 17 years on the job? He's got rank, and that's the close to making his 20. He's leaving New York and freaking planet Earth. But what's that? And Rourke gives her a soother. Then they're walking down. This is the next day, and they're walking down the street. And Eve glanced at the time, then spotted Peabody hustling down the sidewalk. She wore her red-streaked dark hair up in a high, bouncy little tail. Jesus. The pink boots, black pants, that was something at least, and a shirt, thin, flowery jacket in pale, pale green. What are you doing? Going to a garden party? What? The jacket? Come on. It's Mag Plus. Leonardo was helping me organize some of my fabrics, and he saw this, stretched out this jacket design in 2 minutes. Then he made it right there and then. To Eve's sorrow, Peabody executed a stylish turn. I'm wearing Leonardo! Ah, come on. You gotta love it. I think oh, this is the burger thing. She splits a burger with Feeney, a real burger, and he's good about it. And then she tells him about Webster. And that's about it, except for the epilogue, which is all about Webster. So Garcia and Webster come to say goodbye, and it's a sad moment. But I'm hoping that you'll stick with me tomorrow for the unboxing. I'm so anxious to get to Random in Death. I'm so anxious. And I'm going to share every ounce of it with you, spoilers and all. So I hope you enjoyed Payback in Death, and I hope you, saw the first one and now enjoyed reading from the second review. I really enjoy these books. I hope you do too. Thank you.